Hello, and welcome back to the Penniless Pole Toy Channel. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Obviously, we have something different from toys in front of me today. We have a bunch of 80s and 90s and even mid 2000s police and Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office police cards. They're the kind of cards that you could go up to police officer and ask if they had any baseball cards or even football cards. Now, the baseball cards are what I remember. My best memory of getting baseball cards from police as a kid was when my dad would take me to, I believe it was some sort of amateur go-karting. I don't know if it was SCCA. I've been in SCCA programs in the past. I know that they had carts, but I don't know if this was a sanctioned event. I just know that it was mid-90s. He had a coworker that was in this, so we would go and watch the races. Now, with any event out like that, they're shutting streets down, and there's police on duty, other staff. While the go-karts were going around the circuit, we would often see police that were making sure that no one crossed any barricades, and we would go up to them and ask if they had any baseball cards. Now, for the most part, you would just get one player or another. There weren't really any police that had full sets that I'm aware of. They would maybe have one or two players, and then if they were super cool, they would give you everything they had, or if they only had one player, they would say, "This is who I've got. Do you need him?" Well, I don't think we ever really turned down a card, you know? So I have a Yount here, and I'll do some close-ups of these as well. And then that was an 87. This is a Fingers 85. I have a Molitor from 89. And, I mean, think about any of these years. Pretty much any player that you would want to have, they have a card for. But these, again, are just the Sheriff's Department cards that were printed specifically to give out at events. This is a whole team with the checklist. So you have 1 through 49 for the 1988 Milwaukee Brewers. So if you can think of any player that you'd want from there, you can reach out in the comments. I'll let you know what I have. Again, there were logo changes, different series, depending on the years. There's this is a Jose Hernandez Miller Park logo on the back. So obviously, time periods, you can, if they're not labeled, kind of figure out, what players were on a team at a time. 1990, Greg Vaughn. And then, of course, there are the Packers cards as well, the Super Bowl team. And then they did back-to-back Super Bowls, not wins, but appearances. So this was a set. I think I accounted for 18 out of 20 on the Super Bowl set. And then I had multiples of the 98. Good mix of defensive and offensive players, as well as coach and general manager. So I'll do some close-ups of those as well. The coolest cards of the lot are the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, if I'm cataloging everything I have, there's only 18 out of 20 in the set here. And this set can actually go for a few bucks, so it's not too bad. The cards themselves are in not too bad of a shape for the fact that they were in a bag. And as you can see, consecutive Super Bowls, not wins, but following year, same thing, police set of cards. I'm not sure if this is a full set either, but I do have multiples of many of these. So, again, pretty cool nostalgia factor. Not a ton of value, but these ones are actually interesting because if you look at the back, you have quotes from, I assume,
something similar to the Dare program. Kids, here's our favorite tight end, Chimera. Everybody remembers having a Gilbert burger from Burger King or whatever it was. I can just think back to being in school during these days, and literally every kid had somebody's jersey, whether it be a Favre jersey or, a Reggie White jersey, Dorsey Levens. One of my favorite memories of Antonio Freeman is him actually catching, if you want to call it that, a football on his back. It never actually hit the ground, and it was ruled a completed pass. Somehow just ended up on his back. Outside of the Packers cards, here are some close-ups of kind of what caught my eye for the Brewers police cards. These ranged, again, from 85 up to 91 I have in the set. Then I actually have some late 90s and I think early 2000s. You actually went through multiple logos. You have, of course, the Met. If I could pull one up here. Okay, so you see Miller Park there as opposed to County Stadium. And even on, this is 98. They had this sort of, they tried. I remember when this logo was out. It's not terrible. It's kind of hard to compete with what I think is one of the most clever logos of all time. During their Miller Park days, getting to it. They had gone through a few other designs. I don't even know what's technically official anymore. And I'm calling it Miller Park, but I'm never going to call it American Family whatever nonsense field. Time Warner Cable, that's not a thing anymore either. That's Spectrum, I believe. This card's just great. It's absolutely fantastic. And then the Paul Molitor cards. Obviously, a handful of years here. The Yount cards were super cool. This is what I remember. This is what the baseball players looked like. I can remember. And now I've been sort of spoiled with company seats at Miller Park now. Obviously, uniforms are going to change in any sport over the years, but I don't know. I have good memories of this. I have good memories going to games, County Stadium with my dad. It's always a good time. I know some people aren't baseball fans. I don't. Sometimes I think that you don't even really need to be a fan to have a good time. There are checklists here, as there are with many cards. There's not a lot of value in these. I just had to pick these up. They were just super nostalgic. Just the fact that these are like a police community against pushers. The local hotline. Say what you want about that, but again, these are just neat. Glad I could save them from the trash, so to say.
Another one of the big reasons I picked up these bags of cards while I was out thrifting and treasure hunting was I spotted not only the Brewers cards, police cards that, kind of sparked that nostalgia of my childhood, but I saw the Packers cards. I'd like to give a big shout out to my buddy Adam at the Dollar Box channel, who was pushing me for actually a couple of years now to start a channel, get some videos online. He had seen me go live on Facebook a handful of times post a lot of things, and he said, I think that some people might dig your content. You really should look into starting your own YouTube channel. So thanks again, Adam. Check him out at the Dollar Box. Big thanks. I'll be trying to hook him up with some of these cards if he wants them. I think he can do better than I can, knowing the market and knowing more contacts than I'll ever find. I don't do sports cards per se. I have done trading cards in the past. I've done Star Wars. I've done Magic. I've done a few other smaller games. And I should just mention one last thing. If you do have any sort of favorite player from 85 to pretty much 91, I think I can hook you up. Contact me. A few people already have. A few other people reached out and says, hey, do you have extras of this card, and can I give you $1 for one? And I'd be happy to help anybody out if there's something that you're really into, or you just want to have a couple cards because there's just something super delightful with these. And thanks for tuning in. I know this was a little bit different. I just like sharing everything that you can find out there. It's not just the toys. Sometimes there's other collectibles, other things that nostalgia-wise can really be a joy to discover or find again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you saw something you liked.